join you and thank you, Al Cardenas. Al's doing a great job with CPAC and a great job with the American Conservative Union. I'm just thrilled at his continued leadership. And, he's a neighbor, Key Biscayne, and my daughter, Kathy Lover, so we've known Al for a long time. I'm delighted to be here. I want to just chat with you for a couple minutes about what we need to get done. And I want to start by saying I'm not going to ask any of you to be for me for president. Because if you're for me, you're going to vote, go home and say, I sure hope he fixes it. And I want to report to you, this is my serious conclusion, having studied Margaret Thatcher, having worked with Ronald Reagan, having led the contract with America, and then having watched the last 10 years. I believe we are in so much trouble. I believe the scale of what we have to change is so much bigger than Barack Obama. Yes, we need to defeat Barack Obama, and that would be a good thing. But it's not by itself sufficient. We're faced with an academic system which refuses to teach American history and refuses to recognize American values. We're faced with the news media dominated by the language and values of the left. We're faced with federal judges who do not have a clue what the Constitution is all about and involves all of the rights. We're faced with entrenched bureaucracies who believe that we are no longer citizens, but rather our subjects, and instead of being our servants, they now believe that we should serve them. And all of that is reinforced by both employee and the number one question is giving more. Now, let me just be clear. I think this is the heart of why I'm running, and the conversation that Calista and I had for months with our family before we decided to run. I am running because I believe the scale of change that we need is so deep and so serious that I have come to ask you to be with me for 8 years, not just 4. I've asked you to take on the responsibility of deciding that you're going to help every day convince your members of Congress, and if you can't convince them, you're going to work every day to replace them. I came tonight. Your help, frankly, because on the scale of change I'm going to describe, we're not going to get it all right. Abraham Lincoln, in December of 1862, at a time when the Civil War was going very bad, wrote a message to Congress. And he said, I'm paraphrasing, as what we are facing is new, we must think of it. And if we can disenthrall ourselves from the past, we will save the nation. Now, he was saying it not on behalf of abandoning America, but on behalf of saving America. And more than any person, Abraham Lincoln resurrected the Declaration of Independence as the core of our beliefs. Because he believed that the Declaration was exactly right. That we are endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights, among which are life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. Now, this is central to defining America. The only country in the world, this is what American exceptionalism is all about, the only country in the world that says our rights come from God, and God says to each one of you personally, you're sovereign. You're the center of power. And you loan power to the government, which is why our Constitution begins, we the people. This is the opposite of Barack Obama and the European socialist model, in which government is the center of power, and government wants, this is why it makes perfect sense for Obama to say, I think you're making too much money. And the key question to ask him is, who are you to define for Americans what they are allowed to do? The arrogance of this administration makes perfect sense the minute you understand that it's not an American administration. It is a European socialist administration transplanted to understand America. They are a transplant of the Brussels bureaucracy which believes it can dictate to Europe, because there's no European tradition of the citizen being sovereign. We are citizens. We are not subjects. And I'm asking you to be with me to reestablish citizenship in America. I'm also going to ask you to be very inclusive. This will jar some Republicans. We always talk about outreach. Outreach is when 5 white guys have a meeting and then call their friends. Inclusion is when everybody's in the meeting. Let me tell you, one of the key definers between Newt Gingrich and Barack Obama next year is going to be very simple. He is the best food stamp president in American history. I want to be the best paycheck president. There's not a neighborhood in Florida. There's not an ethnic group. There's not an ideological group that wants their children to spend their life on food stamps instead of paychecks. And we have to have the courage to include every American who wants to have paychecks in our coalition. And we will be the largest majority in modern history if we have the courage to include everyone and listen to everyone. Now, it'll be tumultuous. You get the other 60 or 70% of this country, think about it. That would be 180, 200 million people. You invite 180 million Americans to a family picnic, it's going to be a really weird dinner. So we have to learn to be happy and casual about the fact we have a lot more arguments internally because we're going to be so big. It's inevitable we're going to argue occasionally. But that's fine. That's what governing is all about. Now, next Thursday in Des Moines, I'm going to outline a 21st century contract with America. It is going to be bigger, it's going to be deeper, and more profound. We are in greater trouble than we were in 1980 when I campaigned for Ronald Reagan. We are in greater trouble than we were in 1994 when we unveiled the first contract with America. So this approach, which I'm going to outline in Des Moines next Thursday, is going to be more fundamental and more profound, and it's going to rely on citizenship and citizens being with me and actually implement it. It will gradually grow over the next year. One of the key components will be action immediately. When I'm sworn in, immediately after the inaugural address, we'll take an hour and we will sign between 50 and 200 executive orders that will decisively reshape the government as of that day, operating within the law and using a power that goes all the way back to George Washington. You'll be able to go to Newt.org and you'll be able to actually suggest your own executive orders. We know what a few of them are going to be. We'll have all of them published by October 1st next year so that they'll all be available in the entire country for the last month of the campaign. And as I debate the president, if he says, "I'm willing for that too," we'll just pull out the executive order and let him sign it right there. I don't know what all the executive orders are, but I know what the first is going to be. Sometime around 3:30 or 3:45 on the 21st of January, 2013, I will sign executive order number 1, which will abolish all of the White House czars effective. Executive order number 2 will reinstate Ronald Reagan's Mexico City policy that no U.S. taxpayer money is spent on abortions anywhere in the world. We will have an executive order that day, which will instruct the State Department to move the U.S. Embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, which is an honor.